Did you know your stomach acid is as strong as a lion's? And your gut looks more like a wolf's than a cow's? If you've ever wondered whether the humans were designed to eat meat, the physiology is about to blow your mind. Hi, I'm Mark Bates. I'm your metabolic health coach, and today's topic is the physiological evidence supporting humans as primary carnivores. So, we're going to start with digestive system adaptations. Gut morphology. Humans have a longer small intestine and a shorter large intestine compared to herbivores, which is typical of carnivores. This gut structure is optimized for digesting and absorbing nutrients from animal fats and proteins rather than fibrous plant material. Our stomach acidity is also very high. Human stomach pH is approximately 1.5, which is highly acidic and similar to obligate scavengers and carnivores. This high acidity helps in safely digesting meat and killing pathogens commonly found in animal flesh. There are also metabolic and genetic adaptations. Protein and fat metabolism. Humans have a metabolism adapted to a diet rich in animal fat and protein. Unlike strict carnivores, like cats, humans have limited capacity to metabolize excessive protein due to nitrogen removal constraints, but still rely heavily on animal-derived nutrients. So we should be eating primarily fat, okay? Adipocyte morphology. Human fat cells, adipocytes, resemble those of carnivores, being smaller and more numerous, which supports an energy metabolism adapted to high lipid and protein intake rather than carbohydrates. Insulin sensitivity. Humans exhibit low physiological insulin sensitivity, an adaptation consistent with low carbohydrate, high protein, and fat diets, allowing conservation of blood glucose primarily for brain function. And genetic evidence. Genetic adaptations such as changes in the FADS gene cluster indicate adaptive pressure towards metabolizing animal fats and proteins, with increased plant consumption only becoming significant very late in human history. Dental and cranial features. Teeth morphology. Human teeth, including smaller but sharp canines and incisors, are adapted for chewing meat rather than for dismantling prey with large fangs. The reduced mastectory system compared to early hominins aligns with a diet focused on meat and fat. Our brain size, and that's important, and its energy needs. The large human brain, which requires high-quality, nutrient-dense food primarily as fat, evolved alongside increased consumption of animal fats and proteins, supporting the hypothesis that meat was critical for human brain development. And then there are behavioral and anatomical adaptations related to hunting. Our shoulder and arm adaptations. Now think about this. Humans have unique shoulder and arm anatomy, allowing powerful and accurate throwing. Only humans really can throw a baseball, right? You never see a chimp or a gorilla throw a baseball properly, right? They can only kind of underhand it, right? So this trait evolved for hunting prey with tools rather than relying on physical teeth or claws. Early weaning and longevity. Early weaning age and extended longevity in humans are linked to the emergence of carnivory, with survival depending on experienced hunters and efficient calorie acquisition from animal sources. The most nutrient-dense and calorie-dense form of food is animal flesh, the protein and the fat. The physiological evidence collectively supports the hypotheses that humans evolved primarily as carnivores, with adaptations in digestion, metabolism, anatomy, and behavior optimized for a diet rich in animal fats and proteins. So how does this relate to other carnivores, true herbivores, and animals that can eat both? Well, so let's compare the physiological adaptations with carnivores, herbivores, and omnivores. Humans versus obligate carnivores. Our stomach acidity is highly acidic. Ours is around 1.5, similar to obligate carnivores like lions and wolves, which is essential for breaking down bacteria in meat and preventing foodborne illness. This acidity is higher than in omnivores and herbivores. Our gut morphology. Like carnivores, humans have a longer small intestine and a shorter large intestine, optimized for digesting proteins and fats rather than fibrous plant material. Herbivores have longer large intestines or specialized stomach chambers to ferment fiber. We don't really have a place to ferment fiber. Enzymatic capacity. Humans produce enzymes such as pepsin, chymotrypepsin, and bile to efficiently digest animal proteins. Excuse me. Enzymatic capacity. Humans produce enzymes such as pepsin, chymotrypepsin, and bile to efficiently digest animal proteins and fats, but lack enzymes to break down cellulose and other complex plant fibers like herbivores do. Our nutrient requirements. Humans require nutrients like vitamin B12, creatine, carnitine, and taurine from animal sources, which obligate herbivores synthesize internally or obtain via gut microbes. This indicates a reliance on animal foods for essential nutrients. And there are metabolic adaptations. Humans share with carnivores a low insulin sensitivity and a metabolism adapted to high-fat, high-protein diets, whereas herbivores rely more on carbohydrate fermentation and have different insulin dynamics. How about humans versus true herbivores? So our digestive system, herbivores have specialized digestive systems with large fermentation chambers, for example, the rumen in cows, and longer large intestines to break down cellulose and plant fibers, which humans lack. Humans have a vestigial appendix, indicating loss of fiber fermentation capacity. Plant toxins. Plants produce defensive compounds like oxalates and lectins that herbivores can detoxify through specialized gut microbes or enzymes. Humans lack these adaptations, making many plant toxins harmful or indigestible. And nutrient synthesis. Herbivores can synthesize or obtain essential nutrients from gut microbes, while humans must obtain them from animal foods, highlighting a fundamental difference in dietary needs. How about humans versus omnivores? A lot of people say, hey, Mark, we're omnivores. No, we're not. Dietary flexibilities. Humans are often classified as facultative carnivores or omnivores behaviorally, as they can consume both plants and meat. However, biologically and physiologically, humans show stronger adaptations toward carnivory than many omnivores. Nutrient absorption. Omnivores generally have digestive systems capable of processing both plant and animal foods efficiently, including enzymes that break down some plant fibers. Humans lack the ability to ferment fiber extensively and have limited capacity to detoxify plant compounds. And behavioral and anatomical traits. Humans have hunting-related adaptations, such as throwing ability and teeth suited for meat consumption, which are less pronounced or absent in many omnivores. In summary, while humans share some traits with omnivores, their physiological, metabolic, and anatomical features align more closely with obligate carnivores than with true herbivores or generalist omnivores. This includes stomach acidity, gut morphology, nutrient requirements, and adaptations for hunting and meat digestion. All right. If you haven't done so, please think about liking and subscribing to the channel. Like this video, share it with a friend. Also, you'll find in the description a link to my health coaching platform, where you have access to a number of videos, including those here, with documentation, and we have routinely host times where you can come on and ask questions live. So we have these live Q&A sessions, and there is a great community here that you can ask questions, and I will answer them along with other people in the community. So it's a great place to learn and continue growing your experience on what makes keto and carnivore the best diet, in my opinion, for humans to eat. Thank you.